Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 53 of Yet Another Expat, the place where I bring thoughts, stories, and blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. So, listen, I think I turned into aliens. Yeah, some people turn into religion. We don't judge, we listen. I turned into aliens. I believe they exist, and maybe it's time they come to save us. This is my new thing. This is my new manifestation. I may even rename this podcast to Dear Aliens, Can You Please Come for an Intervention? This is how I feel. You know, there is this thing called the Fermi paradox. If you haven't heard it, basically it says that given that there is a percentage of planets out there that could support life, and the gazillion galaxies out there, it means there have been and there has been life elsewhere. Statistically, it has happened a lot. So where is everybody? This is basically the Fermi paradox. There should be more out there. The numbers say so. Where is everybody? And there are some theories on why we might be alone or not, or what might have happened, how some filters may be in the way of stopping civilizations, whether that is cells from forming or reaching other stars or gamma ray bursts and what not. My point is, if there are aliens out there and they're watching, I'm inviting them to intervene. I don't know how long. Have you seen some of these experiments where they put people in a room with some roles and then they're like, okay, should we tell them? Should we storm in? At what point do we escalate? I don't know if that point is close, but maybe it is. Maybe it feels like it is. So anyway, I don't know what you believe in. It kind of feels good to have this hope. Hope is a good thing. Hope sustains life. So my hope is that aliens will have a look, come down here, give everyone some LSD, have us watch a documentary that rewires our brain and gets us to love each other and abolish capitalism or something. Just something that makes things less dark. Okay? And what do we have? There's a lot going on. We have Ghibli took over the world, the AI Studio Ghibli trend. It happened since last week. I know that. But now I think it really did the cycle. I think it finished. I think it's dead now. We had our politicians in Greece just do it. It reached the cringe level where everyone has done it and now it's dead. And it's interesting that this is the collective experience of the planet right now. These trends get to live for, 7 days? Which is insane, A full circle around the globe offered trend in 10 days from conception to being done with it. If you think about it, this is fast. It didn't used to be like that, says the millennial yelling at the cloud. The one at the sky and the one at the web servers as well. I yell at all clouds because the trends are coming in like waves and, not the Mediterranean waves, the cool chill ones. No, it's like waves coming from the oceans, the real ones, where you can see the wave coming from afar, where it breaks far from the shore and you see the white come. And then you see the succession of one wave after the other. Trends are like that. They sweep us up until the next one, and the pace is fast. So yes, the Ghibli one got squeezed all out. The Jews have finished. We wasted probably an ocean of water that's cooling down all these AI machines and systems that worked tirelessly to rip off Miyazaki's lifestyle work for our evening memes. The poor man, the creator behind Ghibli Studios, he's the one who really doesn't like AI. He hates to see it in the field. He is employing hundreds of people drawing with hand, and I really wonder what he thinks now. I think he had said that AI for him is, the worst thing, getting into art. And I have a feeling that maybe there is this GI out there, or let's call it the super AI. Maybe it heard him and said, oh yeah, old man, Yeah, you don't like AI, you think it's destroying art? Let me show you and deliver this global slap in his face. How about the AI said, how about I hit you with the power of ignorance of 1 billion people making memes out of your life's work and the energy consumption of a city? How does that feel? Because, so many of the Ghibli movies are exactly about preserving nature and preserving the beauty, even the natural resources. If you've seen Princess Mononoke, or it's a theme. It's a theme to celebrate life, to preserve nature. So what an interesting fact. Miyazaki AI 0 to 1. He bad-mouthed the AI, and the AI came back at him with a devastating hit. He's employing so many artists, and saying he would never want to see AI do the work of the people. And now this. I don't know how he feels. If any of you has Miyazaki as a friend, let us know how he's doing. And did OpenAI break all sorts of copyright laws? Because it seems like it has trained its model with images of Miyazaki's artwork of Ghibli Studio, and that sits under intellectual property, right? So if I say, can you draw me this like a Ghibli Studio, how does the AI know what the style of a Ghibli Studio is? It has in its data been trained by art that is under copyright intellectual properties. And I hope it's not news to you, but OpenAI has absolutely done that. They have trained their model with everything that existed on the internet without any consideration whatsoever about copyright. And was there an OpenAI whistleblower that was talking about how the company trained the models with data from everywhere? And did that whistleblower all of a sudden decided to be done with this world after he started speaking up? Yes, all of this is true. Does anyone care? I don't know. I don't think we do. And OpenAI got another $20 billion in funding, so things must be going well. I am just stating facts. Which brings me to this one interesting point around AI. It's not mine. I read it on a Facebook status, but AI is consuming information, it's consuming art, it's consuming creation, and then produces different versions of it. It can copy it or it can change it. And what if people are progressively more bored or unwilling to sit down and creatively think and use AI, and then AI is re-chewing the data it has. It produces its own data, then it chews into that. And this creates an infinite loop of information that's created from the machine, feed back into the machine. And this absence of originality, reusing the same stuff over and over, could eventually, further down the line, reach a point of singularity where the AI consumes itself and creates the pinnacle of intelligence or stupidity because it has run out of stuff. We don't know. But Ghibli took over the world, then we had more tariffs, then we had a global trade war happening, and the S&P 500 collapsing, and 5 trillion lost in 2 days from the markets. Because why not? And wars are still ongoing. 15 medical aid workers found dead in a mass grave. You know where. You know where being a journalist or a medical aid worker can get you killed. It's the same place that 3 schools were bombed 3 days ago. Incomprehensible. Life feels relentless, day by day. And we keep on going, and I think, and I'm keeping on going. I'm here, it's happening. I try not to think about it all the time. I try to balance the day-to-day with what's happening out there. I try to embrace and hug my own little bubble and say, oh, bubble, protect me from what's happening. But at the same time, it's happening, and it's all coming in so fast. I think that the brutality of the information we're consuming, at the speed, at the intensity, is a form of violence that we are yet to understand as a species. This is a new age. There is a reason why human communities work best in small sets. I don't think we are meant to consume the news of an entire planet. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. It's happening and it's out there, and we still need to know what's happening. We need to be informed, but goddamn, it's hard. And here is where a mental health app could come and sponsor this podcast, right? It would be very fit. But no, I need to be sponsoring my own mental health alone, which I do. And I think you should too. But I'm thinking that in the past, if you had a shitty life, you knew how you were going to suffer. It would be in specific ways, working in the fields and being hungry and, getting a beating. With the modern age in life, with the internet, every day I wake up, I don't know in what way I am going to suffer. Do you know what I mean? It's always a surprise what might come my way, what news might hit the door. And that gives me anxiety. Like, I don't know in what way I'm going to suffer, what's going to hit me. And yeah, the certainty of knowing, even if it's really bad, is better than being continuously surprised by the greed, stupidity, and violence that occurs. But I did get a message for a sponsorship, and I'm just now going to lighten it up. This was a hard start. Welcome to my head. I did get one, and I thought, damn, finally, it's time. I get a sponsorship. I get to milk the cow I've been so lovingly feeding for a year now, aka this podcast. Sometimes I get messages and they are usually spam or scam, but this seemed legit. It was a legit company. It is a legit company. And they said, hey, we noticed your podcast. We're looking for some kind of collaboration. There's some sort of ethical, sustainable platform for e-commerce to make the planet a better place. They even wrote me, not for billionaires running their monopolies. And I was like, ooh, hello, here we are. They are pro-independent small businesses. And I was like, yes, this is an independent small podcast. Thank you. And basically, they wanted to make a podcast about, not a podcast, but to make a collaboration about starting a company in Berlin as an expat. And I thought, okay, like, what are you thinking? Because it's very clear I make solo podcasts, right, where I complain about the world and my life. How does it fit? What do they want me to do? Do they want me to interview a person who's starting a company? Did they listen to any episodes? But I was curious, and they looked legit. So I said, okay, what is your proposal? What is a way to collaborate? And I thought maybe they want a segment. Maybe they can have 15 seconds of this podcast, of this airtime that says, are you looking to shop sustainably? Do you want to ease your guilt? Do you want a more free consciousness? Are you tired of clicking, click on Amazon? Here is whatever they have. And I thought, okay, maybe I get to, make at least €1 out of this podcast. I cannot tell you how much I pay for all the platforms I'm hosting and the tools I'm using. I'm in the minus. I love it. It's a hobby. But, I thought, hey, maybe it starts giving back. The same thing I say to the baby right now. I tell him, hey, little dude, when are you going to start paying rent? When are you going to start contributing? This is what I said to my dog as well when I had a dog. So it's kind of my pattern. And I thought maybe the podcast can now start paying back. But basically, when I asked for further information, I was hit with this. They said, we can do a podcast together where basically I have people over that are making their own businesses in Berlin and they're expats. And I guess I interview them. And that would be my payment that I get to interview them. I guess they share me their platform. I think I have more people than they do or something like this. But this is what they meant. And then they said, if making an episode like that, which I've never made an interview, this is a solo podcast, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If that doesn't work, then maybe we could have a second way to collaborate. As part of a campaign, we are offering influencers a product-based collaboration. And I'm like, okay. And then they continue by saying it's a Kickstarter-like campaign where people need to buy one of our bestsellers, which is a biodegradable phone case. And that is a vote and sign of support to our platform. And this will show our investors that the platform is needed and wanted. So, yeah, I'm not saying who they are. I'm just, if this is advertisement, then they get it for free. I don't care. But basically, their proposal is that they have a Kickstarter campaign where they ask people to buy a biodegradable phone case. And by the people buying this biodegradable phone case, then they get to show their platform has people and they plan to go to investors with that. So they offered to send me a phone case. So this is the peak. I've hit peak in this podcast. Yeah. So this was the proposal. I either make an episode for them where I get to interview them, or they sent me a phone case. You know what? I have a phone case. I think the most sustainable thing for me to do is not have another phone case. Okay. So what a milestone. No offense. I know some people where a car manufacturer sponsored their podcast and they don't need to work now. And I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying that it's cute. I guess it's the first real offer I ever get. A free phone case for producing an episode or posting on my social media for these people. Thank you very much. I won't do it. The messages were really nicely written, so I'll give them some love. But this is where the interaction will probably finish. And I thought about that, making a different podcast where I just interview anyone, about their life, about what they do day to day, how do they earn their bread, and whatever comes in my head, just asking random, rapid questions, getting to meet different people. But then I thought, oh my goodness, what if I bring someone and they're incredibly boring and I'm trying to peel them off in an entire episode like a banana, but they instead are like a kiwi. Okay, I'm recording for some time. This is starting to look like the end of an episode. I will tell you a last thing. And aliens, if you're listening, please send me your phone case. I'll throw you these random thoughts and I'll wrap it up. Baby life, still going good. Now the baby can be entertained a bit more. I had to take him to take passport photos and we put a bow tie on him so he looks like a very old person that just got into retirement. Incredible. If you want to see it, message me. And yeah, it's still stressful. I believe I think about 5 times a day if he's dead, which is not so much. In the beginning, it was like 20 times a day. Now it's only 5 times a day, just making sure he's still breathing, just poking him with a stick the few times he's quiet, because otherwise he makes it very clear that he is alive and kicking. Now, one more thing that got on my nerves. I don't know if this has happened to you, okay, if you're still here, my dear beloved listeners, please let me know if I'm not alone in this. Facebook has gotten desperate and it has enabled some sort of crazy notification systems. I'm getting notifications for random people posting in random groups. I'm getting notifications for someone posting in a page, or I don't know who decided that it is acceptable to just get this red dot of a notification on my Facebook when this is not that someone tagged me or commented something for me or replied to something I wrote, because I don't want any more notifications. I've worked hard to have less notifications, and it seems like Facebook is getting desperate for some interaction. They do have a problem. Facebook is like, it's like Japan. They have an aging population and they're afraid for their future. They want more interaction. But tell me, if you still have Facebook, if not, you're better than me. If you do, how is your notifications? Are you getting new random notifications for categories you never wanted? I spent some time diving into the settings because that is going to take less time than being annoyed forever that these new notifications are happening. I closed a lot of them, but there are still some categories. I got one that someone posted something on a page I like. And the 3 dots next to that notification only gave me the option to select only get notified when a friend posts in this page. And I'm like, how is this? What type of blackmail is? I want to get no notifications. Why is that not an option? That's bullying. I'm getting bullied. But this is it. Different social media for different stuff. I told you I made a TikTok so I can reach more people with this beautiful podcast. And it's interesting that on Facebook, on the reels of Facebook, I have just crazy street food stalls where they make something in a very dirty way, in big quantities. All these, white people going to Asia filming the street food people. I get a ton of that. And I get also people digging out fossils and stones. Like these are the 2 big categories Facebook serves me. And I like them. I go to Facebook to watch those things. On Instagram, it's all baby stuff. Baby stuff. They even know when the baby got born, so they keep serving us baby stuff for the appropriate age that we are. And this, I love and I hate at the same time, because I cannot consume more tips. I'm like a hacker for this baby. Every day I try 2 or 3 new exploits, and I'm pretty sure he wants to also have some peace. And then on TikTok, it's all about being an expat, being an immigrant in Germany. I get all of these making fun of Germans or making fun of Eastern European people, and it's very, very focused on the nationality. So I have these places with different styles for me to watch. I haven't tried YouTube Shorts yet, but it would be interesting if it also gives me a completely random branch, so then no one knows completely who I am, but by using all of them, I get to feed my brain all the little dopamine it's asking for. But this has been it. If you like this episode, do leave a comment on Spotify. Don't be shy. Click on the bell. Make sure you always get it and all of these things. I'm on parental leave, so I get no salary, so I will not be putting any advertisements to grow the podcast, which means you need to help me grow it. So do your duty, your support. When I see the views, when I see the listens, when I see all of that, I say, yes, this is worth it. Go share your stupid thoughts again. Someone out there spends their time washing the dishes, listening to them, and how beautiful is that? So, thank you for listening to my thoughts so you don't have to listen to yours. I love you very much. I wish you a great rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of the year, and I will see you in the next one that will be recorded in very, very hardcore circumstances in Greece with no equipment. So let's see how that will go. Until then, ciao.